welcome back to Lost Ocean TV. I'm Ray, aka your daddy. And today we're going to be mixing up the flavor because today we have an action thriller movie to review. I know we normally stick to horror and all that, but I enjoyed this movie enough to where I wanted to review it. Now you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. This is the 2018 The Commuter. And this movie has an all-star cast. Liam Neeson. What you know about them Liam Neesonss, huh?
But did you see that Liam Neesonss movie with them wolves, though? The one with them big-ass wolves and Liam Neeson's in it? Liam Neesonss is my
Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, Sam Neill, Florence Pugh. I mean, it has a really star-stellar cast. Spoiler alert, my initial thoughts, it's your typical PG-13 Liam Neeson action thriller movie. But it was the synopsis itself that sucked me into watching it, and I'm really glad I did. Because I had a real good time watching it, although the plot really does submit to a lot of predictability, which I think is the movie's biggest downfall. Liam Neeson plays this retired NYPD officer who is now selling insurance as an agent. So every day he takes his train commute to work and to home. But in this one fateful day, his life is shattered into pieces because he got fired from his job. And this ruins his financials, of course, because not only did he just lose his job, he has a son he's trying to get into college. I can only imagine the fucking stress that he's going through right now. Before going home and having to face his harsh reality of telling his family he just lost his fucking job, he decides to go to the bar and have a few drinks with his best friend who is still on a police force, since he is an ex-cop. He confides in him, getting him some liquid courage in before he has to face reality. So finally he mans the fuck up and he takes the train home. But in the process, he bumps into somebody and he loses his phone. First red flag of the film. He's then approached by a mysterious woman named Joanna, who is played by the beautiful Vera Farmiga, who poses a hypothetical question, stating that in the bathroom there is $25,000 hidden away. And if he does this little job that will not affect him or anybody else, that he would get another $75,000 cash. What he has to do is locate this person on his train under the alias of Pren, take this little GPS tracker to their bag, and get off the train. His job is done. He will be $100,000 richer. She also mentioned that it should be very easy for him considering he's an ex-cop. Now that raises a big flag to him. He's like, what the fuck? How do you know that? Blah, blah, blah. And I would be too if I was in those shoes. You offer me $100,000 to find this person on this train that don't belong here. How the fuck am I going to do that? For one, there's 100 people on this train. And how do you know I was an ex-cop? Maybe he could chop it up to be, yeah, I was an ex-cop. Probably everybody in the city knows my face. But he's like, whatever. While the movie itself is a charade of whodunit, and Michael having to find out who Pwen is, and does offer a whole lot of obvious red herrings about, oh, it might be him, or it might be her. It does take a predictable turn in the climax. So Michael, of course, doesn't follow the rules. He quickly realizes he's not going to be able to wiggle himself out of this. It's made known to him after he fucks up when he tries to make a call to his best friend Michael, who is on the police force he was having drinks with earlier. They let him know very quick like that he's being watched. So he is restricted to make any kind of stress calls for help. And yes, he is punished when he makes that phone call to the police because one of his best friends is pushed in front of a fucking bus and gets fucking splattered all over the fucking highway. So long story short, Pwen is a 16-year-old girl who witnessed a murder. And the reason it took Liam Neeson or Michael so long to figure out who it was is that she switched seats earlier because of this asshole stock market agent who's being a total ass to her. She's like, fuck this, I'm gonna go over here, do my own thing, put headphones on. And she's just been oblivious to everything that's been going on up to this point. She does claim that it was the cops who killed Enrique, which was the person that was murdered. Enrique was also a city official, and she had evidence about corrupt cops, corrupt politicians, very powerful people that they planned on bringing down. So after Michael just refuses to kill her, Joanne sets bombs off and the train is set to derail. So Michael, in an act of bravery, along with Sam is the train conductor, they managed to get everybody into the last train cabin and disconnect it. Sam took one for the team and gave his life up so they can survive. Even though the train did derail, nobody was critically injured. And Michael now realizes the cops are in on it. And soon the whole train car is fucking swamped by police. Fucking police, fucking SWAT, fucking snipers, you name it. They are there. And they're ready to shoot Michael down at their earliest convenience. But Michael, who used to be a cop, is kind of smart about these things. Tells everybody, cover the windows and shit. And now that it is a hostage situation and that Michael is holding these people hostage, they send in his best friend, Murphy as a hostage negotiator. And this is where it's all unfolded. They had planned the whole thing from the very beginning of the movie. His best friend Murphy was corrupt. They purposely got him fired. They planted the witness there. Every one of these things was set in motion from the very beginning. It wasn't by chance. They set him up from the get-go. So yeah, his best friend turns out to be the bad guy, which I called that immediately. Once I saw him coming back on screen, I was like, yeah. And they do have a fight. Murphy kicks Liam Neeson's ass. Liam Neeson kicks his ass. Now, what I did like about the ending is the way Murphy went down. The infrared snipers, Michael had pulled the tag off of Murphy, which tags him as like the officer, and he's like a different color in the thermal. And since he's holding that, they shoot fucking Murphy down. And the feds come in, and the fed that comes in there is not corrupt. So he saves the girl witness, and he saves Michael. One thing I did like about it, I thought Sam Neill, which played the police captain, was going to be corrupt as well, but he was not. That's one red herring that did throw me off during the movie, which I do enjoy being thrown off by a movie. He looked like a bad guy in the beginning. So Michael decides on going back to being a detective, and he finally figures out who Joanne is. She is a regular commuter on the fucking train. And it is heavily implied that at the end, she's going to be arrested. Things I liked about the movie, I watched a lot of Liam Neeson movies, and it's hard not to like him. Even though some of his movies and roles kind of blend together, including this one. And like I said, besides the predictability of this movie, it was pretty creative in the way that they had Liam Neeson try to decipher which witness and the steps he took to figure that out. The fights was pretty cool. There was action scenes in there that was pretty cool. I love the score. I love the supporting cast in this. If I had to rate this, I'm probably going to I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I really do enjoy the synopsis of this movie. But that's not all flavors of the cake. There are a lot of things I left out of this movie. So if you haven't seen this movie, go watch it because there are more things to be discovered. I didn't want to spoil everything for you. But I would recommend this on a late night watch. Now, is this one of those movies you're going to watch over and over and over again? Nah. But if you haven't seen this movie in like 2 years, like, oh yeah, I've seen the movie a long time. Babe, you remember this movie? Yeah. Let's watch it. One of those. But that's going to wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for taking a part of your day to kick it with me. I really do appreciate it. I love you sexy earlobes. And I will see you guys on the next one. Till next time, adios.